Are you able to see my screen? Okay. So the doubts which I have are, there are 5 people who have raised doubts. Akshay, Shri, Siddesh, Rohan, Ashmit and Atul. So in the 1 mark, the third question is asked as a doubt. What is the third question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, third is asked as a doubt. Okay. So third question asked by Ashmit. So how many of you solved this? If others have not asked, you should have solved this, right? Can someone tell me how to solve this? A truck on a straight road starts from rest, accelerating at 2 meters per second square until it reaches a speed of 20 meters per second. So initial velocity is how much?
0.
U is 0.
Yeah, U is 0. Just a minute. So the initial velocity is 0. That's what it's saying. U is 0. Acceleration is 2 meters per second square. And the velocity attained is 20 meters per second. And all this is happening in how much time? They have not given anything. Okay. Then the truck travels for 20 seconds at a constant speed until the brakes are applied. Okay.
Your voice is breaking for me.
Okay. So this is part 1. Right. The second part, what is happening? Now is it clear? Now is it
Yes,
clear?
sir.
So part is what is happening. It is moving with a constant speed. For how much time? For 20 seconds. Right. That's what they have told. 20 seconds at a constant speed. And what will be the value of that constant speed? It will be 20 meters per second, because the final velocity attained in the first journey will become the initial velocity for the second journey. Until the brakes are applied, stopping the truck in a uniform manner in an additional 5 seconds. What is the average velocity in meter per second the truck for the motion that is described? So how to solve?
You have to take 3
Sir, I took the 3 situations separate and solved.
Yeah, tell me how to do that. First situation. So part 1, what will happen?
Initial
S is equal to,
velocity is 0.
yeah, initial velocity is 0. So what formula did you apply? You have B, you have U, you have A. They are asking you the average velocity. First, what is the formula for average velocity? Average velocity only, right? Yes. It is going to be total displacement by
Total time.
total time. Okay. So how much is the distance covered by the object in part 1? V square minus U square is equal to 2as. V square is 400 minus 0 is equal to 2 into 2 into s. This will be 100. So the distance covered by the particle is 100 meter. Okay. And V is equal to U plus 80. Why I'm finding time in this is because I need the total time. So V is 20 is equal to U is 0 plus A is 2 into time. So T is equal to 10 seconds. So the first part of the journey is taking 10 seconds and the distance covered in the first part is 100. So S1 is equal to 100, T1 is equal to 10 seconds. Similarly, in part 2, what is happening? It is traveling with a constant speed for 20 seconds. So T2 is already given. We need not worry about it. But what do we need to calculate? Distance. S2 is equal to, here it will become ut plus half at square only. Acceleration is
Distance.
0. So ut plus half at square. Acceleration will be 0. U is how much?
20.
20 into how much time? 20. It will be 400 meter. Okay. So S1 is 100, S2 is 400, and T2 is 20. So totally 30 seconds have got elapsed. What is part 3? So in the part 3, what are they saying? until the brakes are applied, stopping the truck in a uniform manner in an additional time of to 5 seconds. What is the average velocity? So for part 3, what is the initial velocity? It is still 20 meter per second. Final velocity will be 0. Right? So v square minus u square is equal to 2a into s. Accepted?
Yes, sir.
So, but what is acceleration? We don't have it in our hand. Right? We don't have the acceleration in our hand. So how to find it? You can apply v is equal to u plus at. So v is 0, u is 20 plus acceleration is a, and the time taken is 5. So acceleration will be minus 4 meter per second square. When you substitute it, 0 square minus 400 is equal to 2 into minus 4 into s3. So this will go 8 into 40, 50. So s3 is equal to 50 meter. Right? So what is the average velocity? Total displacement, that is, how much is it? 100 plus 400 plus 50.
550.
The whole divided by time taken. 10 plus 20 plus 5. 550 divided by 35, how much is it coming?
Approximately 15.
Yeah, sir.
15.7. No?
Yes, approximately.
Yeah, 15.7 meter per second. Is there an option like that?
Yes, sir. First option.
Okay, this will be the answer. Okay. So this is asked by one person. Next. Fifth is the doubt asked by many people. Fifth and ninth. Fifth and ninth are actually the same question. I checked it later. So fifth question, let's solve. So what is the actual issue with fifth question? What is it you people didn't understand? So truck covers 40 meter in 8.5 seconds while smoothly slowing down to a final speed of 2.8 meters per second. Find its original speed. Okay. So what is it you need to? So what formula did you apply? V square minus u square is equal to? Or you can apply V is equal to u
Yes,
plus
sir.
8.
I use that, sir. I use v equal to u plus 80, found acceleration and substitution.
So V is equal to u plus 80. But we don't know the time. Time they have given 8.5 seconds, right?
Yes, sir.
So V is 2.8, right? 2.8 is equal to u plus acceleration you can't find. You will have two unknowns. Time is 8.5. So A will be equal to 2.8 minus u divided by 8.5. This will be 1. Now you can apply V square minus u square is equal to 2as. What is the value of V? V is 2.8. 2.8 square.
2.8.
The initial velocity is what you need to find. 2 into acceleration is 2.8 minus u divided by 8.5 into what is the displacement? It is 40. Got it? So 2.28 square is how much? Sixteen 32 4 3 2 6 4 4 8 784. So it is 7.84 minus u square is equal to 2 into 2.8 5.6 minus 2u divided by 8.5 into 40. 8.5 is divisible with 5, 1.7 and 8 times. So the 7.84 minus, 7.84 into what? 1.7 minus 1.7 u square is equal to 8 into 5.6 minus 16u. So you'll get a quadratic equation in u and then solve for it, you will get the answer. Did you guys understand what I did?
Yes, sir.
So this is one way, or what you can do is, if you
Yes, sir, understood.
don't want a quadratic equation, okay, let's say you don't want a quadratic equation, it's getting complicated, then what we can do is we can manipulate and see. For example, what is that we have in our hand? S. So S is equal to ut plus half at square, right? So S is equal to ut plus half into acceleration. Can I write it as v minus u divided by t into t square? This and this will get cancelled. So S is equal to ut plus v minus u into t the whole divided by 2. So what is the value? So S is given 40. U is what you need to find. T is given as 8.5 and V is given as 2.8 something. 2 point. So one unknown, one equation. It is easy for you to solve. Here you don't have any quadratic equation. Are you guys clear? So this is, I think there is a simpler way. So there are two ways in which you can solve the same problem. Whichever you are convenient, you can do. See, had the numbers been easy, I would suggest you with quadratic also, but the numbers are slightly complicated. 7.84 into 1.7. Finding the factors will become difficult, so I'll suggest this method. So make a note of it. So how many of you asked this problem? Akshay, Shri, Atul.
Yes, sir. I asked for it.
Yeah, both of you are clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So ninth is also the same problem, guys. Ninth also you both only asked. Ninth is also the same problem. Rohan, I hope you got the answer for this problem.
Yes, sir. I got.
What is the answer?
I think it's approximately 6.61, sir.
That's right. That's right. Answer is 6.61. Which option is that? This one.
I think
See,
option
actually,
A.
what I observed is the fifth question and ninth question are exactly the same. But if you look at the option, only one option matches. That is 6.61. That is another way to find out. But yeah, this will not happen in real time. This question got repeated. Okay. I'm moving on to the next one. 10th one is asked by Siddesh. Siddesh, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So while determining the velocity from a position time graph, velocity at any point is the slope of whom? It's a very simple question. It's a direct question. See, position time graph velocity. V is equal to dx by dt or ds by dt. This we know. So why do we differentiate? Differentiation gives you what output? It gives you the slope of, I would have given your notes. It gives you the slope of the tangent at that particular point. That is the answer. Okay, it's a direct question. It's a theory part. Okay, this is the 10th one. Now, the 16th one is asked as a doubt. Okay, so 16th one, how to solve this? So there is an airplane compass which indicates that it is headed due north, and its airspeed indicator shows that it's moving through the air at 240 km per hour. If there is a 100 km per hour wind from west to east, what is the velocity of the airplane relative to Earth? So there is an airplane compass that indicates that it is headed due north, and its airspeed indicator shows that it's moving with the speed of. Okay. So what is the velocity of the airplane? 240.
J cap.
Very good. It is 240 J cap first. If there is a 100 km per hour wind, actually it's per hour, okay, or hour inverse. 100 km per hour wind from west to east. What is the velocity? So 100 km wind. 100. What is
I
it?
cap.
As simple as that. That's it. I cap.
I can.
So what is the velocity of the airplane relative to Earth? So this is the velocity of the airplane with respect to wind. It is not the absolute velocity, because the airplane is already moving and the wind is also there. So the indication which the compass is showing will only be a relative velocity. Okay. So how to solve this? VAW is equal to VA minus VW. Guys, are you able to understand? So I'm writing it as a lesson. VAW is equal to 240 J cap. Velocity of wind is 100 I cap. Don't forget the arrow mark. So So we know that velocity of air with respect to wind is velocity of air minus velocity of wind. That is 240 j cap minus 100 I cap. So they're asking what is the speed?
Root of 240
Root of,
square.
yes,
240
240 square plus 100 square. How much is that you're getting? Those who have solved, can you tell me?
260, sir.
260. Let me check things. Yes, 260 is right. 260. And how will you find the angle? Tan theta is equal to,
40 by 100, sir.
yes, it is 240 divided by 100. It will cancel. It will be 2.4. So 2.4 means how much will it be? So is there an option like 260? Yes, 260 is there. That is the answer. 23 degrees east of north. Okay. Shall I move on to the next one? This was asked by Shashmit. 16th. Shashmit, are you clear?
Yes, sir.
17th one, Siddesh. There is actually a textbook problem there. I have already solved in the class also, but no problem, I'll explain. Listen. So particle starts from origin at t is equal to 0 seconds with a velocity of 10 j cap meter per second and moves in the xy plane with a constant acceleration of 8 I cap plus 2 j cap. At what time is the x coordinate of the particle? 16 meter. How to do? So what is given? Can you guys read it? Initial velocity, what is it given? 10 j cap. Okay, initial velocity is 10 j cap. Siddesh, read the data, no? Initial velocity is 10 j cap. What is the acceleration given?
Eight I cap plus 2j
8 I
cap.
cap plus 2 j cap. 2 j cap. Everything is in SI unit. No, you have to make a note of it. This is in meter per second. Okay. Now, what are they asking? What is the x coordinate of the particle when? So, what is the x coordinate of the particle? So, at what time is the x coordinate of the particle 16 meter as well? So, t is equal to what? When x is equal to how much? 16 I cap. Okay. Applying s is equal to ut plus half at square along which direction? Along x axis. Displacement of the particle is 16. Initial velocity of the particle along x direction is 0 because it exists only along y direction. Plus half into acceleration along x direction is 8. T square is what you need to find. This will get cancelled 4. So t square is equal to 4, which implies t is equal to 2 seconds. This will happen at 2 seconds. Okay. Similarly, they're asking what is the y coordinate of the particle at this instant? So applying s is equal to ut plus half at square along which direction? Along y direction.
Y direction.
So y is equal to uy is 10 into time is 2 seconds. Correct? Will be 2 seconds plus half into acceleration along y direction is 2 into t square, which is 4. This and this will get cancelled. So y is equal to 20 plus 4, 24 meter. So the answer is 2, 24 respectively. So first option. So 2, 24. That is 17. Siddesh and Shashmit. Okay. And the last one, 18th problem, is asked by Atul. Atul, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Just read the question. No, I need the data. So there is a ball which is thrown
10 meter per second.
upwards with the speed of 10 meter per second. Then
That's it. You have to find the time and distance.
Time and maximum height. Huh?
Yes, sir.
What is it? Determine the time it takes the ball to reach its maximum height. That is, time of ascent is what they're asking. There is a direct formula. Time of ascent is equal to u by g. 10 by, if it is, g is taken as 9.8. First is, oh, they have given only, the options are given only for height. So this part you can ignore. Determine the maximum height reached above the thrower's hand. Maximum height. So h is equal to u square divided by 2g. So 100 divided by 2 into g is 9.8. This will be 50. 50 divided by 9.8 is the answer. So it should be up greater than 5. 5 point something should be the answer. Everything is there. You have to give the exact answer.
Sir, I got 5.10
Okay,
approximately only.
let me check. Question number is 18, right? 5.10 is right. That's the answer. But the formula is u square by 2g. Okay.
Okay.
So 23rd. So 23rd is also simple. The position of the object is given as 2t square plus 3t. Find out that its motion is uniform or non-uniform. So x is equal to 2t square plus 3t. Okay. So they're asking whether this is uniform or not. If you differentiate it with respect to time, you get 4t plus 3. So if an object has to have a uniform motion, not uniform acceleration, uniform motion means the object is having a constant speed. Here, dx by dt gives you the speed. Is the speed a constant or a variable? So is the speed a constant or a variable? So v is dependent on time. So when it is dependent on time, it will be a variable. Okay, when it is a variable, will it be uniform or non-uniform motion? Since velocity is variable, motion is, sorry, it is non-uniform. Okay, this is the answer for 23rd. Who asked this? 23rd is asked by Atul. Atul, I hope you're clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now 27th problem. 27th is asked by Siddesh. So the position of a particle is given.
I have a
what
doubt
Yeah,
in the
Rahul, tell me.
previous one.
Yeah.
If we substitute the value of t, sir, like if we take, for example, t value as 1 or 2 or 3,
Okay.
then it's constantly
No.
getting.
See, t is equal to, the meaning is, okay, I'll come to your point. T is equal to 1 if you substitute what is the value of v? 7. T is equal to 2, v is 11. So between 1 to 2 seconds, is the velocity changing or is it constant? So it's changing, right? It's changing from 7 to 11. That should not happen for a uniform motion. So if you read the definition of uniform motion, it clearly says the velocity of the object is constant with respect to time. Means whether time is 1 second, 2 seconds, or 100 years, the velocity is still going to be the same. That is what the definition says. Okay, so that's why it is non-uniform. So 27th, the position of a particle is given by r is equal to 3t I cap minus 20t square plus 4 meter, where t is in second and the coefficient have proper units for r to be in meter. Okay. Find the value of v and a of the particle. What is the magnitude and direction of the velocity of the particle at t is equal to 2 seconds? So 27th, what is the code? Siddesh, read the data, no? 27th. R vector is equal to
Sir, actually I've done it, but I don't know whether it's correct. That's why I gave it as.
Okay. Okay. I'll do it.
I've
Verify
differentiated.
whether- That's right only. I'll do it. Okay. No, not an issue. It's just going to take 1 minute. I'll solve it. Verify whether what you've done is right or wrong. Okay. Just give me the
R
data alone.
3t I cap minus
Okay.
2t square j cap
Okay.
4k cap
Plus or minus?
plus.
Plus 4k cap. It is in meter, right? They're asking you the velocity and acceleration at what time?
First, it's just velocity and acceleration. After that,
So they want
velocity
it
at
as
2
a
seconds.
function of time. dr vector divided by dt will be equal to 3 into, when you differentiate time with respect to time, dt by dt is 1. Okay, actually I'll write an extra step, no issue. So 3 into derivative of time with respect to time I cap minus 2 into derivative of t square with respect to time. So I wrote derivative of c means derivative of constant, because it will be 1, no? 4 into derivative of 1. So 3 into derivative of t with respect to t is 1. So you will have 3 I cap minus 2. Derivative of t square with respect to t is 2t j cap minus 4 into derivative of constant is 0. So the velocity vector is given as 3 I cap minus 4t j cap meter per second. Okay. Next is they're asking about acceleration. In the same context, tell me how to do the acceleration part. Acceleration is derivative of 3 is 0 minus 4 into derivative of t is 1 j cap. So minus 4 j cap meter per second square. So you guys can verify if this is the answer you people got. Okay, so this is the required answer. Second part, what are they asking?
Velocity at 2 seconds.
So velocity at 2 seconds. No, let this be 1. So substituting t is equal to 2 seconds in equation 1. What do you get? V vector will be equal to 3 I cap minus 4 into 2 j cap. If you observe the question carefully, they would have asked you the magnitude of velocity. If they ask you only velocity, you can leave it like this. If they ask you the magnitude of velocity, you have to take the square root of it. 3 square plus 8 square. 9 plus 64, it will be root 72. Root 72 meter per second. And they would have been asking you the direction. Direction means what? Angle. So tan theta is equal to 8 divided by 3, which implies theta is equal to
Sir, should we
tan.
find out the value of tan, sir?
No need, you can leave it like this. Tan inverse 8 by 3. When the concept of log book and all comes, that time you can learn it. No issue. You can see tan theta is equal to 8 by 3. This you can leave it. About inverse, you learn next year in your maths. Okay. So tan inverse of 8 by 3, you can leave it. Is this clear? Siddesh, clear?
Yes, sir.
The 17th is always Siddesh and Sashmit also. This 17th or 18th? Oh, we are finished. No, sorry. This is 29th, 27th.
27.
27th, right? Okay. So we are in 2 months, right? 27th. Okay. So shall I move on to the next one? Then 29th is asked by Sashmit. Now the question is, what will be the effect on the horizontal range of the projectile when its initial velocity is doubled, keeping the angle of projection the same? It's a simple question. Okay. So it's like this. 29th. So u square sine square theta divided by 2g. So this is the basic formula for maximum height. Now why I wrote as h1 is
Sir, one
because
doubt,
theta
sir.
is changing. Yeah, tell me.
So the previous question, isn't it tan inverse of minus 8 by 3?
No, you can write it as 8 by 3. I told you, no, that minus sign, what does it indicate? See, let me explain this. Listen. So when I take a basic coordinate system, okay, when I take a basic, 1 minute. Okay. So when I say 3 I cap minus 8 j cap, I'll write it like an ordered pair. You have learned this in relations, right? You know what is an ordered pair. The ordered pair is 3 comma minus 8. the meaning of 3 comma minus 8 is this is the coordinate of this particular position vector. So 3 comma minus 8 belongs to which quadrant?
Second.
3 comma minus 8. It belongs to fourth.
Fourth.
Okay, it will be something like this. In such a way, that meaning of it is the vector is starting at 0 comma 0 and it is ending at 3 comma minus 8. So this will be the length of the vector. That is the magnitude. If you measure this length, that length will come out to be root 72 meter per second, because this particular vector belongs to whom? The velocity. Right. So when you take theta, generally the value of theta is taken with respect to x-axis. So when you take this as theta, what I did is tan theta is equal to, if I complete a triangle, then how much will this distance be? This distance will be 8 and this distance will be 3. So if this is 8, this is also 8. So 8 divided by 3, I've taken only the positive value because I have a clarity of which quadrant it is lying in. That is why I didn't take the minus. If you start using that minus, no, you will get confused for each place. So that is why I wanted to make it as a common formula. So what you need to write is theta is equal to tan inverse of 8 by 3 with respect to whom? So the angle is made with respect to whom?
Fourth quadrant.
No, with
Okay.
respect to x-axis.
X-axis.
So theta is equal to tan inverse of 8 by 3. You have to write it like this, with respect to positive x-axis. Or you can also say east direction. It's up to you. But generally don't use east because that varies in 3 dimension. I'll not suggest you. So when you're dealing with 2 dimension, I suggest you to write it as with respect to positive x-axis or positive y-axis, or negative x-axis or negative y-axis. Depending on what axis you're taking the angle, write it like that. I hope it is clear.
Yes, sir.
But 90% you should take 100% you should take the angle with the x-axis only. Only if you take it with x-axis, then it will be y coefficient by x coefficient. You can apply this formula directly. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Next. So h1 is equal to u square sine square theta divided by 2g, and h2 is equal to what? U square sine square 2 theta divided by 2g. So are they asking about range or maximum height?
Range.
Oh, wait, okay. Sorry, I wrote. They ask about maximum height. What you need to do is you need to write sine 2 theta as 2 sine theta cos theta and divide both and see. Then you'll get the answer. So if it is about range, range is u square sine 2 theta divided by g. That is r1. R2 is equal to u square sine 4 theta divided by g. So what have they told? Velocity is doubled, or then it's simple. I thought angle of projection is doubled. So it is sine 2 theta. Then what will happen, guys? This will become 4u square. So what will happen to the range? The range increases by
4 times.
That's the answer. Cosmic clear?
Yes, sir.
This is 29th. So I think we are done with 2 marks. So 29, 23 and 27 are done. So in the 3 marks, there are problems like 32, 33, 34, 35. 32. Let's start with that. So explain clearly with examples. So explain clearly with examples the distinction between magnitude of displacement, which is sometimes called as distance, over an interval of time, and the total path length covered by the particle over the same interval. So what are they trying to say? So when you see the word displacement, what comes to your mind? It is the shortest. It is the shortest path length. right? So when you're calculating the magnitude of displacement, we can also call it as distance at times. You can call it as distance at times only when the object is not trying to change its direction. Okay. Over an interval of time, in the same interval of time, the total path length covered by the particle. So the total path length covered by the particle is called as distance always. Are you guys able to understand? Whereas magnitude of displacement is called as the shortest distance. So that is the meaning. So that's what. So explain clearly. What they're trying to say is the first part is called as the shortest distance and the second part is called as only distance. So what will happen is, so they asked us to explain with an example, right? So when did I say the displacement will be equal to distance? If the magnitude of displacement should be equal to the exact distance, then the particle should travel only in one direction. But what can happen is, let's say there is a particle which is starting at point A, it is going to point B. Okay, let's say this distance is x1 from where? From A to B. Let's say from B, it has changed direction and come to some other point C in between. Let's say this distance is x2. Now, if I ask you the magnitude of displacement, what will you say? It is magnitude of x1 minus x2. Guys, I want a response. Are you guys able to understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, if I ask you what is the
Yes, sir.
distance here, what will you say? If I ask you what is the distance, what will
AB
you say?
plus BC.
That is x1 plus x2. Is this and this the same?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No. So what happens is generally when we see magnitude of displacement, we tend to think it is distance, but it is distance in which case? The value will be equal to distance only if it is traveling in the same direction. For example, if I take this as D, then this will be x2. Well, let's say this is x3. For the journey A to D without the point C, if I ask you what is the displacement, what will you say? x3 plus
Plus
x3, this is x3. x3 plus x1. If the C is not there, okay. If the C was not there and the particle had been traveling only in one direction, then what would have happened? Displacement will be x3 plus x1. What is the distance? It is still x3 plus x1. It will be the same. So this is happening only in the case when it is unidirectional. Here what is happening? It is bidirectional. It is going forward and coming back. Okay, that is what they are asking. So they are asking you to give an example. So the example is when the particle is going from A to B and again coming back to C. Next. Magnitude of average velocity over an interval of time and the average speed over the same interval. So how do you define average speed as? It is the total distance, that is total distance by total time. Show that in both A and B that the second quantity is either greater than or equal to the first quantity. When is the equality sign true? For simplicity, consider one-dimensional motion only. So what they're trying to say is magnitude of average velocity over an interval of time and the average speed over the same interval. So when you're calculating the average velocity, what will happen? It is similar to displacement. So displacement is a vector quantity. So when the object is going from A to B, okay, and then coming back to C. Now what will be the average velocity, guys? So this distance is x1, this distance is x2. Average velocity will be x2 minus x1 divided by t. But what will be the average speed? It will be x1 plus x2 divided by t. Are you guys able to understand? So because average velocity is what it is, total displacement by total time. Here it is total distance by total time. The total time taken is to go from A to B and from B to C. That is what I wrote it as t. Are you guys able to understand this point? Now they are asking an important question. When will the second quantity, when will the second quantity, that is distance or average speed, be equal to the first quantity? When will the distance be equal to displacement? That I already explained. When the object is moving
Move in
in
a
the
straight line.
Unidirectional.
no, it's not about straight line. Here also it is straight line only. It should move in single direction. In a similar way, when will average speed be equal to average velocity? It is possible only under one scenario, when the distance is equal to displacement. Okay. So for this question, I cannot say there is a generalized way or a common way to explain. This is left to your choice. You are free to explain it with an example. But since they have told it is one-dimensional motion, you take any one scenario like this, like what I considered, and then you can explain it. Okay. So there is only a theory-based question. I cannot say there is a generalized answer. But the only context I wanted you to understand is distance is greater than or at the max equal to displacement. Similarly, average speed is greater than or equal to average velocity. They asked one more question. When will the equal to sign be applicable? Again, the answer is when the objects are moving, when the object is moving in the same direction, that is without changing its direction. When that is happening, then the distance will be equal to displacement and average speed will be equal to average velocity. I hope you guys are clear with this. Right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
32 asked by Rohan. Rohan, you're the one who asked this. 32.
I thought we had used real life examples, so that's why.
But now you're clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. 33rd is asked by Rohan. Just a minute. Rohan and Atul. 33. Rohan, can you read the question?
1 minute, sir.
So 33, what are they saying? You don't have the question paper. Atul, you have it ready?
The distance, first
Uh-huh.
distance covered in 40 seconds.
1 minute. Read it through. Distance covered in.
Initial distance, no.
Okay. No, you read the question as it is.
I don't have the question, I just have the quantities.
You have the quantity. You also don't have the question.
Yes, sir.
Can you guys open it? So everybody have the question paper in hand.
Sir, if I open it, I get disconnected from the meeting, sir.
Oh, you're using the same mobile.
Yes, yes, sir.
Anyone else using two devices who can read? You got it? Yeah.
Sir,
So
I can read, sir.
Yeah. Any one of you. Yeah, you can read, ma. So a train takes.
A train 4 minutes to go between station to 2.2 kilometers apart.
Your voice is breaking, ma. So
Starting, finishing, rest.
1 minute. Your voice is breaking a lot. Can you go a little away from the mic?
Acceleration is uniform for 40 seconds. And the acceleration lasts 10 seconds.
1 minute. Ma. You have to go a little away from the mic.
Assuming velocity constant for the 9 times.
1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. Are you able to? Akshay, you are able to hear me?
I can hear you a little bit.
Okay. You have to go a little away from the mic. There is a lot of blow coming. So you have to go a little away from the mic. Okay, so 1 minute, I will read it. A train takes 4 minutes to go between the stations, which is 2.25 kilometers apart, starting and finishing at rest. So there are two stations which are 2.25 kilometers apart, starting at rest and finishing at rest. Okay. So that is possible only when the object accelerates and decelerates. The acceleration is uniform for the first 40 seconds and the deceleration is uniform for the last 20 seconds. Assuming that the velocity to be constant for the remaining time, calculate the maximum speed, velocity, acceleration, and retardation. Use only graphical method. See, the problem is this year they have removed graphical method from your syllabus. Okay, but I can explain this problem. Listen to it because this might help you at some other context. So, if you take velocity time graph, so object is starting from rest, and when it is accelerating, you need to draw a straight line like this. Okay, so the object is starting at A, it is going to some point B. Let's say it is having a velocity of some value, we don't know what it is. And for some time it is moving with a constant speed. Let's say it is going to point C. After that, it is decelerating such that it is again coming back to rest. And how much time is it taking for all these things to happen? The time taken by it is 4 minutes. That is 240 seconds, right? So when you drop a perpendicular, are you guys able to understand here till this point? So this is time t1, this time t2, this time t3. So t1 plus t2 plus t3 is 240. So I'll give you 3 different shades. Observe. The red color shade is the portion where the object is accelerating. The blue color portion is the
Sir, your mic, sir.
So we're not able to hear you, sir.
either had some network issue. Just a minute. So I hope you guys are able to understand this graph. Means what I'm trying to say is, as time progresses, the velocity of the particle is increasing, it is constant, and it is decreasing. Okay, what are they asking actually? Calculate the maximum speed. Where is the maximum speed attained by the particle? It is when it is between the points B and C. Correct? That is the maximum speed. Remaining places, it is either 0 or it is decreasing, increasing. Something is happening. Are you guys clear till this point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If I take this distance as S1, S2, and S3, remember we have a derivation for S is equal to UT plus half at square using graphical method. Right? So what graph did we use? We used a velocity time graph. So under a velocity time graph, okay, under a velocity time graph, what quantity are you supposed to find so that it gives you displacement? You need to find the area. Yes. So S1 is equal to, if you observe S1, if I take this as D and E, S1 is what? It is the area under whom? The triangle ABD. ABD is a right angle triangle. S1 is equal to half into base. Base is how much? T1 into what is the height? The height is B. This is what we need to find. So which implies T1 is equal to 2S1 divided by B. Can I write it like this?
Yes, sir.
So how much time is it taking for? They've given something, right? How much time is it taking for the object? Acceleration is uniform for the first 40 seconds. See, one more thing, just because I drew the graph, it is not necessary you have to solve the problem only using graphical method. Since I mentioned, I'm explaining using this. Without the graph, imagine whatever I'm applying as a formula is the way you are going to solve without the graph. That's it. It's the same approach. So half into 1 minute. 1 minute. Half into how much? 40 into V. Can I write like this? So 20V. So S1 is equal to 20V. 1. Similarly, how do I find S2? Now you guys tell me. S2 is what? V into T2. The T2 I don't know because I don't know for how much time it is moving with constant speed. S3 is what again? Half into V into T3. In the question they have given, no? And it decelerates for 20 seconds. Correct? So half into V into 20. So how much are you going to get? 10. So 10V is 3. Now tell me guys, for 40 seconds it has accelerated, for 20 seconds it has got decelerated. For how many seconds has it been moving with uniform speed?
80.
Sorry?
80 seconds.
180 seconds. Because 240 seconds is the total time, no? In 240 seconds, 40 plus 20, 60 is gone. It will be 180 seconds.
180 seconds.
So S2 will be how much then? 180V. So this will be equation number 2. But what is S1 plus S2 plus S3? That is 2.25 kilometer. S1 is how much? 20. S2 is 180. So 200. 200 plus 10. So 210V is equal to 2.25 into 10 power 3 meter. Now can you guys solve this? I hope you can solve this. So 210V is equal to 2250 meter. So 0 is gone. V will be equal to 225 divided by 21, approximately 10 point something. So answer will be somewhere around, the answer I have in my hand is 10.7 meter per second.
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, again, though I told you this is removed from the syllabus, forget about this graph. Whatever I have applied here is nothing but S is equal to UT plus half AT square only. You'll still get the same. If you want, you can observe it. My only objective is to find what is S1, S2 and S3. So in the place of A, you can apply V minus U divided by T. Okay. So I did the same thing. You can solve it using only formula also. So this is asked by many people. 1 minute. What was the problem number which we solved? 33.
33, sir.
33 asked by Rohan and Atul. Yeah, 2 of you. So 34th is asked by Rohan again. So what is the 34th one?
It's about a velocity time graph.
Now I think you will be able to solve. Velocity time graph of a moving particle is shown. Find the displacement. For a velocity time graph, displacement is area under that graph. Okay. So between 0 to 4 seconds, you have to calculate this area. Between 0 to 8 seconds, calculated between 4 to 6, 4 to 8 also, add both. Since they are asking displacement, you have to add them with the proper sign. Area above x, make a note of it. Area above x-axis is positive. Area below x-axis is negative. Ron, are you able to understand?
Yes,
so 0
sir.
to 12 seconds means again calculate this area also. All the 3 are rectangles only. Calculate the area. This area will be positive, this area will be negative, and this area will be positive. Add everything with the proper sign, you will get the answer.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so that's it. So 35th one. A particle moving in a straight line covers, 35th is asked by Siddesh and Shashmit. Okay. So particle moving in a straight line covers half the distance with a speed of 3 meters per second. The other half distance is covered in 2 equal intervals of time. With the speed 4.5 meter per second and 7.5 meter per second, find the average speed of the particle. So what is the formula for average speed? Total distance by total time. So there is a particle which is moving 35th. Shashmit, read the question.
1 second, sir.
So half the distance and the other half is broken into two equal parts, s by 4 and s by 4. A dash, let me call this as B dash. Particle moving in a straight line covers half the distance with 3 meter per second. So if this is speed, means it is uniform. So here the speed is 3 meter per second. Next. The other half of the distance is covered in two equal intervals. It is not two equal distances. So if I take this one as S2 and S3, it is taking equal amount of time because they have told intervals. So here if the time is t, here also the time is t. But what have they told? With speeds 4.5 and 7.5. This is 4.5 and this is 7.5. Correct? So what will be the total distance? S by 2 plus S2 plus S3, if I call it as S. Okay. So what is the total average velocity? Average will be equal to total distance by time. So what is the total distance? S divided by, I don't know the time, let me take it as capital T. So how much time did the particle take to cover this distance? So T1 is how much too? You know that distance is equal to speed into time. I'm using distance is equal to speed into time because here I don't see anywhere the object is accelerating. So S by 2 is this thing. So S is equal to 61, which implies T1 is equal to S divided by 6. Correct? Similarly, S2 will be how much? S2 will be how much? 4.5 into T.
Yes, sir.
S3 will be equal to 7.5 into T, which implies T will be equal to S3
S3 by
divided
7.5.
S3 by 7.5. So for, if I call this as T2, this is also, so T1 plus T2 plus T2 is going to give me what? So S2 by 4.5 is equal to S3 divided by 7.5. Can I write it like this, which implies S2 is equal to 4.5 divided by 7.5 into S3. So let this be one case. And I have S by 2 plus S2 plus S3 is S. S by 2 plus S2 plus S3 is equal to S. So S2 plus S3 will be equal to S by 2. Correct? Are you guys able to understand? So S2 is nothing but 4.5 divided by 7.5 into S3 plus S3 is equal to S by 2. So how much is this? 11 divided by 7.5 S3 is equal to S by 2, which implies S3 is equal to 7.5 by 2 or 22 into S. If S3 is 7.5 divided by 22 into S, I'll take this and substitute it here. S2 will be equal to 4.5 by 22 into S. Any doubt on this?
No, sir.
Right. So when you substitute everything here, when you substitute everything in the place of T1 and T2, then you will get S divided by T1 plus 2T. In the place of 2T, you have to substitute these values back. then S will get cancelled and you'll get the required answer. This part, can you guys solve it? I've given you the idea, whole idea. So average speed is equal to S divided by, you will get S divided by something. This S and S will get cancelled, that something will go up, that will be the required average speed. Is it clear, guys?
So is it 4?
4. What is the problem number? 30? 35, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 4 is the right answer. Okay. Let me think if there is any way where I can reduce the steps. Okay. But I hope you guys understood the concept, right? So S by 2 is equal to, how much is this one? S by 2 is equal to 3 into T1. So which implies T1 is equal to S by 6. Let us not disturb this equation number 1. There is an alternate way, okay? Now, T2 is how much? T2 is equal to or I will say like this, S2 is equal to 4.5 into T2. Similarly, S3 is equal to 4.5 into T3. But what is given? T2 is equal to T3 because equal intervals.
Yes, sir.
So if I call T2 is equal to T3 is equal to T, then what is S2 plus S3, guys? S2 plus S2 is nothing but S by 2, the remaining half of the distance. So S2 is 4.5 into T plus, this is 7.5. No? 7.5 into T is equal to S by 2. So 11T is equal to S by 2, which implies T is equal to S divided by 22. It's not 11, it is 12, I guess.
That
S
24.
divided, yes, 24. So what is the total time? T1 plus 2T is the total time. So T1 is how much, guys? S by 6 plus 2 into S by 24. So S by 6 plus S by 12 will be 3S divided by 12. So that will be S by 4. So the total time taken by the particle is S by 4. And what is the total distance covered? S. So average velocity or average speed is equal to total distance divided by total time. So it will be 4 seconds. Is it clear? So this is for 35th one. So 32, 33, 34, 35 is all. So Siddesh and Sashant, are you clear with this problem?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So with this, the 3-mark part is also over. We'll discuss the 5-mark. 5-mark, it is 41, 43, 45, 46. It's actually almost all the problems. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. So 41, you people asked me the second one. What is the problem? Who has asked the second part? Sorry, third part. Rohan and Atul. So 41, the third part is asked like this. Sorry, here. Choose x is equal to 0 and t is equal to 0, be the location and time at its highest point. Vertically downward direction to be the positive direction of x-axis and give specific signs of position, velocity and acceleration of the particle during its upward and downward motion. So there is a particle which is projected upwards with a speed of 29.4 meter per second. So the object is thrown from here they're asking us to take this as the position x is equal to 0, and this should be considered as positive x-axis. So if you consider this, then they're asking, give the sign of position, velocity, and acceleration of the ball during its upward and downward motion. Upward motion, what will you say? It's a simple one, guys, actually. 41, third one. In upward motion, displacement is positive or negative? Negative. Velocity is negative. Why negative? Because if I take this as positive x direction, then this will be negative x direction. And what about acceleration?
Will also be negative.
Acceleration is downward direction. No, downward direction is positive x.
Sir.
So it is positive. So this is for the upward motion. For downward, what will happen? S will be
Positive.
positive. V will be positive, and acceleration is also positive. Because acceleration for an object which is moving under influence of gravity is always downwards. Got it?
Yes, sir.
So there is the answer for 41.3. Atul, I hope you also got.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then 41.3 is over. 42, who asked? Atul only. Yeah, what is the 42nd? What is the problem? See, this graph portion, you can ignore it, okay? Don't worry about it. Graph problems you'll leave it because it's omitted from your syllabus. I don't want to teach in last minute and confuse. When we have time, we can discuss. 43. So there is a particle which is moving along x-axis. The position of the particle 1 is given by x is equal to 6t square plus 3t plus 2. Acceleration of particle 2 is given by a is equal to minus 8t at t is equal to 0. Sorry, minus 8t means its acceleration is varying. And at t is equal to 0, its velocity is 20. So initial velocity is given as 20 meters per second. When the velocities of the particles match, find their velocities. It's very simple. Now, what is the problem? So
Sir,
how are you
I got the answer. I am a little doubtful.
doubtful?
I got 15.6, sir.
15.6. Sir. There is a question number 43. 15.6 is right. Exact answer it is. 15.6 is for the second particle. And 15.48.
Yeah, there are two answers.
Yeah, two answers will come. But forgetting the answer, tell me how do we approach? So there are two particles which are moving along x-axis. The position of particle 1 is given. So position of particle. So differentiated. Can I do it fast? Dx by dt is equal to 12t plus 3. Okay, this is for the first particle. Dx by dt for the second particle. For the second particle, how do you solve this? So how do you get the velocity of the second particle, guys?
Integration.
You have to integrate it because why we have to integrate it? Because acceleration is not constant. You cannot apply equations of motion when it is not constant. So dv by dt will be equal to minus 80. So dv will be equal to minus 80 dt. Integrating on both the sides, you get v is equal to minus 8t square divided by 2 because integral of t is t square by 2. Okay, so 1 minute, wait. There's slightly a higher order thinking. I'll explain it. Listen. 43. What are the initial? So x is equal to how much? 60 square plus 3t plus what was it? 2 plus 2. Yeah. This is x1. So what will dx1 by dt will be equal to 12t plus 3. This is the velocity of the particle, that is 12t plus 3. Now, for the second particle, dv by dt is given as minus 80, which implies dv is equal to minus 80 into dt. So v will be equal to how much? minus 8t square divided by 2. See, here am I doing indefinite integration or definite integration? Am I using limits?
No, sir.
No,
No,
right?
sir.
So we have, if you use limits, I'll teach you with limits, how to take the limits. So integral of dv. So here you are integrating with respect to t, here velocity. At t is equal to 0, velocity of the particle is 20. Let's say at time t, the velocity of the particle is v. So integral of dv is v between 20 to v is equal to minus 8 into integral of t dt is t square by 2. This and this will get cancelled between 0 to t. So v minus 20 is equal to minus 4t square. So v is equal to minus 4t square plus 20. Those who have integrated, did you get this answer? Minus 4t square plus 20. This is velocity of particle 1. What are they asking? v1 is equal to v2 at what instant? v1 is equal to v2 means 12t plus 3 is equal to minus 4t square plus 20. So 4t square plus 12t minus 17 equal to 0. So from this, if you calculate the value of time should come out as 1.04 seconds. Again, substitute this value 1.04. In this one, you'll get the velocity of particle at t1. Substitute 1.04 in this 2, you'll get the velocity of the second particle at that instant. So velocity of first particle is 15.48. Velocity of second particle is 15.67. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is asked by, most of you asked this problem. 43, everybody has asked. Except Atul. Okay. 43 is over. Then what do we have? 45 and 46. So 45 is what? A man can swim at a rate of 5 km per hour in still water. So wherever you see the still water, no, it is with respect to river. So velocity of man with respect to river is 5 km per hour. There is a river which is 1 km wide, which is flowing at a rate of 3 km per hour. A swimmer wishes to cross the river straight. Along what direction must he strike? What should be his resultant velocity? How much time would it take for him to cross? So listen. So there is a river which is 1 meter wide. So velocity of the man with respect to the river is 5 km per hour. So he wishes to cross straight. Okay. Cross straight means at what direction should he start? Means how much should be this angle? How to find it out? So velocity of the river is given as 3 km per hour. In which direction will he move, guys? So sorry, not 30. Tan theta will be equal to how much? VR divided by the velocity of man with respect to river. 3 divided by 5. 3 divided by 5 is approximately 37 degrees. So he should start at an angle of 37 degrees. I hope this is clear. Why did I write VR divided by VMR?
Opposite side by adjacent side.
Something
In
like
the right
this.
angle.
Yes. Wait. I made a mistake. So this one, see, not like this. It is like this. VMR sine theta. And this will be VMR cos theta. Okay. So for the person to go exactly to this point, along the horizontal direction, the velocity should get cancelled. Means VMR sine theta should be equal to VR, which implies sine theta is equal to 3 by 5. So sine theta is 3 by 5 is approximately 37 degrees. Tan theta is 3 by 5, it's not 37. Sine theta 3 by 5 is 37. Okay, this is the first one. Second, what are they asking? What should be his resultant velocity? So this will be So what will be his resultant velocity? So if I take this as the resultant, then velocity of man with respect to river is equal to velocity of man minus velocity of river. So they're asking what is the velocity of man indirectly. So velocity of man will be equal to velocity of man will be equal to okay. So observe. So see, what is his objective? His objective is to go straight, right? So for him to go straight only, instead of going straight, he's starting in this direction so that there is a drift and he is able to go straight. So the velocity of the man is nothing but it is velocity of the man with respect to river cos theta. Can I say this? Because this component of velocity is what is giving the man the velocity. So VMR, if you divide it, this will be VMR cos theta, this will be VMR sin theta. So VMR is 5 into what is cos theta? If sin theta is 3 by 5, cos theta will be 4 by 5. This and this will get cancelled. Answer will be 4 km/h. Okay. And the last part, what are they asking is the time taken. So time is equal to distance by speed. So distance is 1 kilometer. That is 1 into 10 power 3, or I can say it like this, 1 km/h only. What is the speed of the person in this direction?
4 km/h.
Is 4 km/h. So what will happen? This kilometer and kilometer is gone. It will be 1/4 of an hour, which will be 0.25
15
hours.
minutes.
So it will take 15 minutes or 0.25 hours. Is it clear? So this is what happens. And the last problem. This is 45 and the last problem is 46. A hill is 500 meter high. Supplies are to be sent across the hill